Some places on Earth look impossible. A lake breaks into hundreds of colored circles. Hills appear in perfect rows like they were placed by hand. A giant eye stares out from the Sahara. And in Death Valley, stones move across the desert floor without anyone pushing them. These are not myths. They are real landforms, studied by scientists, photographed from space, and visited by people every year. Today we're counting down the top 9 mysterious landforms on Earth scientists still can't fully explain. Stay until number 1, because the final mystery was watched for decades before anyone finally caught it moving. Before we begin, tell us in the comments which mystery sounds strangest to you. Moving stones, colored lakes, perfect circles, or giant desert spirals. Number 9. Zhangye Danxia landform, China. Some mountains are gray, some are green. But in China's Gansu province, the mountains look like someone painted the earth while it was still soft. Imagine ridges stretching across the landscape in waves of red, orange, yellow, green, and purple. The colors sweep diagonally across the hills like layers in a giant stone cake. Under sunlight, the land glows. At sunrise or after rain, the colors become almost unreal, so bright that first-time visitors often think the images have been edited, but the colors are real. Zhangye Danxia formed over millions of years as layers of sandstone, siltstone, and minerals built up in an ancient basin. Later, tectonic forces lifted and tilted those layers. Erosion then cut through them, exposing stripes of rock that had been buried for ages. The basic science is understood. Iron minerals create reds. Other mineral traces help produce different tones. The mystery is not that the mountains are colorful. Science explains much of that. The stranger part is how certain color transitions appear at the boundaries between layers. In some places, the chemistry does not fully behave as neatly as simple explanations suggest. It is not magic. It is something better. A real landscape still slightly ahead of the equations. For travelers, Zhangye Danxia has become one of China's most surreal natural attractions. For scientists, it is a massive open-air record of ancient environments and time. Every color is a chapter. Every ridge is a page, the earth folded upward. But Zhangye Danxia is mysterious through color. The next place is mysterious through shape. Thousands of hills that look too similar to be accidental. From China's painted mountains, we travel to the Philippines. Number 8. Chocolate Hills, Philippines. The chocolate hills look like they were made by a machine or by something with a strange obsession for symmetry. On the island of Bohol, hundreds and hundreds of rounded hills rise from the landscape. They are not jagged, they are not chaotic. They are smooth, cone-shaped, and strangely consistent. For much of the year, they are green. But in the dry season, the grass turns brown, and the entire field looks like giant chocolate drops spread across the island. From above, the pattern feels almost too neat. The chocolate hills are generally understood as a limestone landform. Long ago, the area was connected to marine environments. Over time, limestone was uplifted and shaped by rainwater, erosion, and weathering. That process can create strange terrain, but what makes Bohol special is the repetition. More than 1,000 hills appear with similar shapes, slopes, and spacing. Karst landscapes around the world are usually messy. They create towers, sinkholes, cliffs, caves, and irregular formations. But the chocolate hills are oddly uniform. The broad process is known. The exact reason this one area produced so many near-matching hills is still not perfectly closed. Local legends tell a more emotional story. One legend says the hills were formed from the tears of a giant who lost the woman he loved. Every hill became a frozen tear. Science gives the mechanism. The legend gives the feeling. And somehow, standing there, both seem to belong. But the chocolate hills rise from the ground in silence. The next landform cuts the ground into blades sharp enough to make walking nearly impossible. From Bohol's mysterious cones, we travel to Madagascar, where the land becomes a stone forest of knives. Number 7. Tsingy de Bemaraha, Madagascar. Some landscapes invite you to walk through them. Tsingy de Bemaraha warns you not to. In western Madagascar, limestone towers rise like thousands of stone blades. Narrow canyons drop into darkness between them. Natural bridges cross over gaps. Sharp ridges catch the light like broken glass. The land does not look smooth or welcoming. It looks armed. Tsingy de Bemaraha, formed from ancient limestone, once part of a marine environment, later lifted and carved by rainwater. Over time, water dissolved channels into the rock, leaving behind tall, sharp pinnacles. The name Tsingy is often connected to the idea of a place where you cannot walk barefoot. One look at the stone edges, and that makes perfect sense. The weirdest part is the sharpness itself. The stone is not just pointed. In places, the edges appear serrated at many scales, like blades made of smaller blades. Scientists have studied how rain and wind may have shaped these surfaces. But the full interaction behind the extreme texture remains difficult to model completely. Despite the hostile terrain, life thrives here. Lemurs move through the stone maze with shocking ease. Plants and animals have adapted to a place that seems built to reject movement. To humans, it looks dangerous. To the creatures that evolved here, it is home. But Tsingy is mysterious because the land cuts upward. The next place pulls you underground, where a cave ceiling glows like a living galaxy. From Madagascar's stone blades, we travel beneath New Zealand, into a darkness that shines. Number 6. Waitomo Glowworm Caves, New Zealand. At Waitomo, the landform itself is strange, but what lives inside it makes the cave feel impossible. Beneath the green hills of New Zealand's North Island, dark underground rivers move quietly through limestone caves. Visitors drift through on boats with the lights turned low. Then the ceiling appears. Thousands of tiny blue-green points glow overhead, reflected in the black water below. It feels like floating through space, except the stars are alive. The glow comes from larvae often called glowworms, though they are actually the larvae of a fungus gnat. They hang silk threads from the cave ceiling and use light to lure prey into sticky traps. The cave provides darkness, moisture, and shelter. The organisms provide the illusion of a private night sky underground. Scientists understand the basic biology of bioluminescence, but the chemistry of these glowworms has unusual details. Their light system resembles other light-producing organisms in some ways, yet uses a chemical fuel that has been difficult to neatly compare with anything else in the biological record. Even stranger, the hungrier the larvae are, the brighter they glow. The most beautiful parts of the cave may be glowing because the creatures are starving. The caves were explored and shared with the world through local Maori knowledge and later surveying. Today, Waitomo is one of New Zealand's most famous natural attractions, blending geology, biology, tourism, and indigenous connection to place. It is not just a cave, it is a living illusion. But Waitomo hides its mystery underground. The next one can be seen from space, a giant bullseye in the Sahara Desert. If you could visit just one of these so far, would you choose the painted mountains of China, the chocolate hills in the Philippines, the stone blades of Madagascar, or the glowing caves of New Zealand? Drop your answer before we reach number 1. From New Zealand's glowing cave sky, we move to Africa, where an enormous ringed structure stares up from the desert. Number 5. The Eye of the Sahara, Mauritania. In the middle of the Sahara, there is a giant eye in the desert, so large and so clear that astronauts used it as a landmark from orbit. From the ground, the Eye of the Sahara is difficult to understand. It is too big. You see ridges, rock, sand, and empty desert stretching around you. But from above, the pattern appears, a near-perfect circular formation, roughly like a massive bullseye, with rings of rock radiating outward from the center. In a desert of endless sand, it looks deliberate. For a long time, people thought the Eye of the Sahara might be an impact crater. That made sense at first. Giant circular features often suggest something fell from space. but geologists found no clear evidence of a violent impact, such as shocked minerals or melted rock typical of major collisions. The stronger explanation today is that it formed from uplift, deep geological processes, and erosion exposing layers of rock in rings. The remaining mystery is not whether it came from an asteroid. That idea has largely lost support. The stranger question is why this eroded dome is so cleanly circular and so visually perfect at such a massive scale. Other eroded domes exist. Few look like a target built for the sky. The eye of the Sahara has fascinated astronauts, geologists, explorers, and online mystery hunters. Some people even connect it to speculative Atlantis theories, though serious science does not confirm that. Still, the human reaction is understandable. When the Earth draws a perfect eye in the desert, people are going to ask uncomfortable questions. But the eye of the Sahara is a mystery of scale. The next landform is a mystery of repetition, empty circles appearing across dry grasslands on two different continents. From a giant desert eye, we travel to Namibia and Australia, where the ground is covered in circles that seem to breathe across generations. Number 4, fairy circles, Namibia and Australia. Fairy circles look simple at first, empty patches in the grass. Then you see how many there are, and how evenly they spread, and the simplicity disappears. Across dry grasslands, round bare spots appear in the soil. Each circle is surrounded by taller grass, like a natural ring. From the air, the landscape looks dotted with thousands of marks, spaced with eerie regularity. They are not random scars. They look patterned, almost intentional. For years, scientists debated what causes fairy circles. Some theories blamed termites. Others suggested plants competing for scarce water. More recent models point strongly toward vegetation organizing itself in response to harsh, dry conditions. In simple terms, plants may be arranging themselves in patterns that help manage limited water. Similar types of self-organizing patterns appear in nature, from animal markings to vegetation spacing. The real puzzle is that similar fairy circle patterns appear in both Namibia and Western Australia, despite different ecosystems. Another strange detail is that individual circles can last for decades, then fade, while new ones appear elsewhere. It is not only a pattern, it is a pattern that changes over time. Local traditions give the circles spiritual meaning. For communities living with the land, these marks were never just bare patches. They were signs, stories, and part of a deeper relationship with the landscape. Science studies the mechanism. Culture preserves the awe. But fairy circles appear and vanish across grasslands. The next landform is a lake that breaks itself into hundreds of colored pools every summer. From mysterious circles in dry grass, we travel to Canada. Number 3, Spotted Lake, Canada. For most of the year, Spotted Lake looks unusual but quiet. Then summer arrives, and the surface fractures into hundreds of colored circles. In British Columbia, a shallow lake sits in the Okanagan region. As the summer heat rises, the water begins to evaporate. Slowly, the surface transforms. Round pools appear across the lake bed. Some look yellow, some green, some blue. Mineral rims separate them like natural borders. From above, the lake looks like a giant living mosaic. Spotted Lake is extremely rich in minerals, including sulfates and other dissolved substances. When water evaporates, those minerals crystallize, creating pools with different colors based on the dominant chemical composition in each area. That part is understood. The lake's mineral content explains the palette. The unresolved part is the geometry. Mineral-rich lakes exist around the world, but they do not usually divide into hundreds of clean, separate, color-coded circles like this one. The chemistry explains why the colors appear. It does not completely explain why the lake organizes itself with such distinctive circular structure. For the Okanagan people, Spotted Lake has long been considered a sacred medicine lake. Its significance did not begin with tourism or modern science. It began with generations who understood the place through healing, respect, and story. During World War I, Minerals were even harvested from the lake, but when the extraction stopped, the spots returned, as if the lake remembered its own pattern. But Spotted Lake creates circles from minerals. The next landform creates giant stone spheres, so perfect they look like eggs from a creature that never existed. From Canada's colored Medicine Lake, we move to New Zealand's coast. Number 2. Moeraki Boulders, New Zealand. The Moeraki boulders look like they washed ashore from another world. On a beach along New Zealand's South Island, massive stone spheres sit scattered across the sand. Some are half buried, some are cracked open. Some reveal crystal-lined interiors like geodes from a giant's collection. When waves move around them, they look like ancient eggs waiting to hatch. The scene feels staged, but it is natural. The Moeraki boulders are geological concretions. Long ago, minerals formed around a central core inside ancient seafloor sediment. Layer by layer, they grew outward over time. Eventually, erosion released them from the surrounding cliffs, leaving them on the beach. The basic mechanism is known. Concretions exist in many places, but these are special because of their size, roundness, and strange visual perfection. Many concretions around the world are lumpy or irregular. The Moeraki boulders are unusually spherical, in some cases close enough to perfect that they look manufactured. Scientists have proposed explanations involving rapid mineral growth and balancing chemical processes in soft sediment. But why this exact coastline produced such flawless spheres, while similar environments elsewhere often produce messier forms, remains difficult to fully answer. Maori tradition tells of the boulders as the remains of baskets, gourds, and supplies from a great ancestral canoe wrecked offshore. That story gives the stones a human and spiritual place in the landscape. Science sees mineral growth. The story sees a memory of arrival, loss, and survival. Both make the beach feel deeper. But the Moeraki boulders sit still. Number 1 is different, because its stones move, and for decades, nobody could catch them doing it. For number 1, we travel to Death Valley, where rocks cross a dry lakebed and leave trails behind them like something alive. Number 1 is the sailing stones of Racetrack Playa, one of the most famous landform mysteries on Earth because the rocks moved across the desert floor for decades without a single person seeing them move. In Death Valley, California, there is a dry lake bed called Racetrack Playa. It is flat, cracked, silent, and brutally exposed, mountains surrounded in the distance. The ground looks lifeless, pale, and baked by heat. Then you see the stones. They sit alone on the playa. Behind them, long trails cut through the dried mud. Some trails run straight, some curve, some turn sharply, as if the stones changed their minds. There are no footprints, no tire marks, no obvious force, just rocks, trails, and an empty desert. For decades, scientists measured the stones and documented their movement. The rocks clearly changed position over time, but nobody had actually watched them move. That made the mystery famous. Were they pushed by wind? Ice, water, vibration, something else? Eventually, researchers used GPS instruments and time-lapse cameras to finally capture the movement. The main answer involved rare winter conditions. A thin layer of water can cover the playa, then freeze into sheets of ice. When the ice begins to break and move under light wind, it can push stones slowly across the slick mud. The movement is not dramatic. It is quiet, almost gentle. A heavy stone can move across the ground, not because of a single powerful force, but because the conditions align perfectly. The shocking part is that the mystery was only mostly solved. The ice explanation works beautifully for many tracks, especially straight ones. But some trails curve sharply, reverse direction, or move in ways that suggest shifting ice panels and changing forces that are still difficult to reconstruct completely. The biggest mystery is no longer, do the stones move? They do. The deeper mystery is why every path tells a slightly different story. The sailing stones matter because they show how science really works. It does not always destroy wonder. Sometimes it makes wonder sharper. Before the answer, people imagined invisible forces or impossible movement. After the answer, the truth was almost more beautiful. Ice, wind, water, mud, patience, and rare timing working together in the middle of one of the harshest places in North America. The stones do not move often. They do not move for everyone. They wait for the desert to briefly become something else. A shallow, freezing, slippery mirror, and then they sail. The sailing stones earn the #1 spot because they carry the perfect mystery, visible evidence, decades of silence, a real scientific breakthrough, and still a few stubborn, unanswered details. A rock sits still for years, then one morning under the right sky, with ice thin enough to move and wind soft enough not to break the pattern, it begins to slide. No engine, no animal, no hand, just Earth arranging conditions so rare that the impossible becomes quiet and real. That is why racetrack Playa still feels haunted. Not because science has no answer, but because even with the answer, the trails still look like the stones we're trying to leave. Earth is not mysterious because science knows nothing. Earth is mysterious because even when science explains almost everything, there is often one detail left behind, one shape, one movement, one pattern, one chemical behavior, one question that refuses to close. From colored lakes and fairy circles to glowing caves, giant desert eyes, stone spheres, and rocks that travel. Which landform shocked you the most? Would you visit Spotted Lake, the Eye of the Sahara, the Moeraki Boulders, or the Sailing Stones first? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy documentary-style rankings about Earth mysteries, ancient places, natural wonders, and science that still leaves room for awe, subscribe for more.